I don't know if you can.
Get out the insurance cards, get out the co-pays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by
everybody,
drroto.com.
So let's get to it. Bring the pain!
What's up, everybody? It's Heat Override, and I'm ready to bring the pain for you in Dr. Roto this week. Ooh, yeah! Man, what a crazy, exciting, super duper weekend we had. But as you see it, this is the 500th episode of Bring the Pain. That means this is a milestone episode. I'm super excited. So, of course, this is going to be the hard hits review. I'm going to give out an IDP waiver wire pickup for your fantasy football seasonal teams. And also, I will give out my macho pick of the week. Hits every week. Seems to work out really well. And also, if you've ever noticed, my macho picks always score their touchdowns. So, betting with them, using them in DFS, it was definitely the slate this week for week 7's a little weird. So, I mean, I'll just say right now, I've already looked at it. DK has Rashee Rice, and FanDuel does not. FanDuel will add Rashee Rice most likely by Sunday. So you'll probably get a little email notification, or it'll be in red at the top and then won't disappear and annoy you the rest of the day. Even when you go to set your lineups after Rashee Rice, they're probably still going to warn us because thanks, FanDuel, we need more notifications. Oh, we don't. But you know what we do need to notify is we need to notify the world that the 500th episode of Bring the Pain is here. I am live right now. So if you have any qualms about your fantasy football teams, seasonal teams, ask away. I'm down to help you out, right? While I'm on here, because after this, I'm going to go watch some wrestling, chill out. I have a huge week. I have the last tournament for the MA Tour is this Saturday. It's actually in Girard, Pennsylvania, which I'm in Erie, so it's right up the street practically. I don't have a long time. I'm already in first place. I'm in first place by 600 points. It's almost impossible for me to lose. I haven't looked at the notes, but it would take someone to have gone to the last tournament to have a chance to even catch me. But regardless, overall fighting champion, I am tied in weapons right now. This season, I was able to get my first 2 grand champions, which means, you know, I was number 1 and not, even though I'm doing that to play all the 18-year-olds. So that is the best. That's the craziest thing. I know that I popped out there for a little while. I kept it talking. I hope I lost nobody. That's on StreamYard. Yo, StreamYard, get your stuff right, man. I don't even know what them, man. So we're just going to keep dealing with this right now. I don't know what's going on. But as long as you can hear me, do know that I am here and ready to talk UFC. We're to talk Gamrot. I did excellent while doing that, and then at the same time, so I was able to get that in Saturday, and then through Sunday and Monday, through my betting articles and everything together. So I know that I'm frozen right now, and I don't know why that is going on, but just bear with us. I don't even know what's going on. I got a warning from StreamYard that something's going on with their server just now. So it's not me, it's StreamYard. Hey, so I'm not going to click off. I'm going to run my 500th anniversary because, like I said, let's break the internet, people. Woo! All right, it's time for a hard hits review. Woo! Yeah, I'm excited. All right, Luana Lacerda versus Simon Oliveira. I picked Lacerda, practically like everybody else in this world. Got that win, got that money. I picked Pilastri, got that, the win over, Kolowitz. I don't even know. I'm not even trying to say names. Why should I have to? And just like I told Dan, every time me and Dan talk a heavyweight fight and we talk about food, they cancel. They cancel. I don't even know. Walter Walker, the whole talk about him diving at ankles and just punching ankles with Usman just didn't happen. So we weren't able to use Walker. He was going to be in a good spot. His price was great too on the slates, but whatever. Now, let's get to Lucas Ocha versus Stuart Nicole. Right. Oh, dude. So, Rocha was 17% owned on the DFS slate. The same way that I brought up Jack Jenkins a few weeks ago, or a couple weeks ago, in Australia, Perth. This is the same thing that happened with Ocha. Everybody ditched Ocha. Why would you ditch him when I and Dan are recommending him on the Fight Club of Pain? Well, because you need to get associated with the Fight Club of Pain. You need to watch every Thursday live, like this Thursday will be live. And ask us the questions about the DFS, the betting sides, and things like that. Also, get to Dr. Roto. Use code word WIN and become our rich friend. The bets that I was putting in the subs only Discord are phenomenal. Phenomenal. Yes, a miss. But if the UFC this past Saturday, literally it was banger after banger after banger after banger. And we not only hit our parlay of money lines, we also hit, of course, the round robin. Because I've been watching a lot of people out there catching on to the round robins now. And that was another thing that really worked with my touchdown parlay this week. And we'll get to the NFL. I am very, very disturbed, but we have some fights to get through too. All right, I took Misqueta, whatever you want to say that, versus Alex Siva, and Misqueta got the finish we predicted. So we predicted the finish in Lacerda, Ocha. Pilastri surprised me, but I did have an underprop, but I had her winning. She was more of a money line. I didn't go in depth like what we normally do on the Fight Club. She wasn't covered. Of course, got that with Ocha, and then Mesquita. So I got win. Then we get to Victor Petrino, got the under. Man, he was making me sweat. I was like, Petrino got the knockout. Come on, let's get it. Bam, nailed it. Went with Joffo Filo. I really like this dude. I did see a lot of love for Clayton Carpenter, and I did have Carpenter and recommended Carpenter on my DFS lineup. That did not work out. He was 23% owned, so 23% jumped on that wagon. But Filo was about, I think I saw him at 31%, which isn't bad. That's about normal for a UFC DFS slate. So I really like that. But dude, he put boy down. And then, of course, Aswell got the win there. Literally 7-0. 7-0. Not only am I 7-0, I made a parlay, also round robin that, put that in the subs only Discord. And at that same time, when I did that included finishes, I was 7-0. So not only am I 7-0, I've nailed practically every finish, but like one. So I'm like, all right, we're good. So we go on with our thing, right? So first we get up to what we thought was Soup Con Awfully versus Ricardo Ramos. Ricardo Ramos literally had this dude had his leg wrapped up for it felt like 2 minutes. It was on it. He checked it. He checked this side. He checked the ankle. He checked it. And out of nowhere, Awfully just slipped behind him and done. Like, what more could you expect from a fight like that? And that is why I love the UFC, and I've been pushing the UFC over the NFL a lot recently, because everybody can give you the same plays in both sports. And UFC is handled more like a small slate. But again, when you listen to the Fight Club of Pain, and we're able to give you, a fighter that I'm going to mention real soon. When we give you a fighter at 17%, that's huge. And that's why you really got to listen, man, because we're trying to get that up. Yeah, it drives the percentages up, but it's not going to do that much to where it's going to break our bank. And that's the targets that we need to live in, that the people forgot. And that's why I mentioned Jack Jenkins earlier. All right, so we got Aswell. Ramos, first loss of the night. All right, cool. I don't know why. I had Pinto in a DFS lineup, of course. Sometimes you hedge yourself with DFS over betting. I don't know why I kept my pick as Pinto, man. Man, that dude's I don't like him. I don't like him. I really like Mario Pinto. I think he's a great addition to the heavyweight division in the UFC. So I'm definitely going to start following him. Now we get to the 3 fights that the Fight Club of Pain covered. We get the Vincent Luque versus Joel Alvarez. Now, even though I lost the Ramos fight and the Denise fight, I had the under. I recommended the unders, and I also recommended everything else. The knockout. That knockout was easy. And sub. It's easy when you can play those unders and you can string those together, because that's what I did with this one parlay for the late, like the middle of the slate. I just grabbed a bunch of unders and just threw them together. It was 4 unders and a money line. And it made a great parlay number. So I was like, all right, cool. It was like plus 1,500 or something. I threw it down, threw like half units on it all, quarter units on the round robins, did it up, boom, hit it. I was like, cool. So you can see I'm in line, like I said all the time, win the Fight Club of Pain, especially me as a UFC expert now, no longer in my rookie season. I think I can brush that dirt off my shoulder right now. With that being said, I keep continuously seeing how when there's a lot of finishes, I'm able to nail not only the wins and the finishes. Of course, when there's a lot of decisions, I'm still getting the picks, but then I'm still putting money on some of the finishes, and I'm losing that money when there's too many decisions, like, a few cards this year. But when there's a lot of finishes, like most people, get that extra money, get the edge, and then the hedge. And that's why you talk about this. So I picked Joel Alvarez against Luque. This puts me back at 8-2 for the win category. Now, here's my thing. Here's what happened, okay? In this fight, I nailed the actual finish. Not only did I nail the finish on the show, 3rd minute, round 1, knockout, the ref is the only thing that saved Vincent Luque. But here's my gripe with that ref, and I'm not going to mention his name because I ain't calling nobody out. But this really pissed me off. So when people piss me off, you get the jerk side of the heat override, the bring the pain, right? All right. He knocked this dude, and the ref immediately calls it a poke. Stops the fight, gets a poke, goes and gets the medic, brings the medic in. The medic's like, bro, he's not poked. And even the fighter, they went back, they did a replay, and immediately all of the commentators were like, that's not it. That's a punch. That's a knockout. His eyes started swelling up. Luque's eyes started swelling up, right? And I'm getting worried for Luque because this man's had brain damage. Like, that's a fight thing. Brain damage, CTE, knockout, concussions. This man has had brain damage. He's down on the ground. I got a plus 750 on it. I got 2 units on it. This is going to return a lot of money, but I do care about Luque, right? And next thing I know, I'm looking, and they're doing this poke thing. So instead of ending the fight, which they should have, and understood that man got knocked out, they let it continue. So what happens? That ref lets Joel Alvarez beat the piss out of him the entire second round. He pummeled the shit out of his face, constantly slamming him down, beating on him, and the damn ref wouldn't stop the fight. This man has had brain damage, man. How many times do I have to say for it? If he'd override is caring for you, there's some problems here. It's not about my money at this point. It's about what's right. You screwed up the damn call in the round one. You're letting this dude's brains get his bashed all over the octagon in the not even the co-main event yet. We got 2 more matches left. Could be brain splatter, whatever. So then the third round, in good fashion, Alvarez literally puts a triangle choke on Luque and holds him there for 4 minutes. Luque never taps. Nothing ever happens. He checks his arm. He gives a thumb up. It was a call. They just didn't want to see him murdered in front of his hometown crowd. And here's the point. The fight should have been over. So even though I got the win, even though I'm 8-2, even though my parlays have hit, I'm still a little mad about that ref doing that. That really pissed me off because I'm a fighter myself. And I know that my coaches or my team would never allow that to happen to any of me and my fighters. And coming up on Thanksgiving Eve, we're going to have a lot of fighters fighting in the Bayfront Brawl, which is, of course, held by Bizarro Promotions. So there's a little stick out, Erie, Pennsylvania. Get your tickets. Come watch some great fights. You got boxing. They're a great boxing family, of course. The Bizarro, Johnny Boy Bizarro going back in the day. So when you go forward, now they got Angelo and everybody else a part of that team. Also, they have a UFC. And the UFC has been at the end. So we've been watching a lot of boxing, having a lot of fun doing that. And so as everybody getting in here, I am live. And also, if you have any questions for this week's NFL slate or seasonal wise, you'll also get my Macho Pick of the Week, which is my DFS Play of the Week, and also my ID Plea waiver wire pickup for tonight. But going back on this, so you're watching this. Look, this is what we do. This is what we do. So when we see somebody getting beat down like that, you kind of say, hey, come on, what's the ramifications? I haven't done any checking, but that ref really needed a good slap or two because that was bullshit. But unfortunately for the Fight Club of Pain, I did nail that. I did nail that he should have finished the fight in the 3rd minute. I got it. So again, the greatness of the Fight Club of Pain, whether you love it or hate it, has come through yet again. We're great at this. We're great at finishes. Fight theory. Fighters see things different. I'll stand on it. Computers, again, 2 weeks in a row, computers mess up on the UFC fights, especially when there was a couple fights canceled a couple weeks ago. When that happened, the simulators couldn't do anything. But as a human, I could. As a human, I know the fighters. So we'll get to that. We got to Montel Jackson versus Davison Figueiredo, right? So here goes the first thing. This was me and Dan's only loss. This put me, of course, we both picked Oliveira, and so we won. I went 9-3. But this was one of my losses. Jackson just literally got held down the whole time. Figueiredo beat the hell out of him. He slammed him. He ragdolled him. And this put Figueiredo back to where he needs to be. It gave me a newfound respect for Figueiredo. So great job. I love the way he fought that fight. But here's the thing about what we do at the Fight Club of Pain and why you should always tune in. We had our knockout props, right? But what we had on Figueiredo was distance in money line, plus 379. We were able to hedge that easily and perfectly, along with the knockouts and putting everything on it. We recovered all of our money, and we still got some great points. Jackson was active enough, even in his loss, he put up points on DFS slates. So, and I had Figueiredo. We'll get to his percentage in a few seconds. Oliveira, Chavez Oliveira, do Bronx, since the age of 12. That's where it began. And that is what I'm talking about. Dubronx went in there and straight owned Gamrot. Gamrot did his best, but you could tell the minute that thing went to the ground, he was scared shitless. He was like, whoa. So there's this dude. He makes these cartoons now. I just started posting them, so look at Bring the Pain on Facebook. Follow me, Heat Override on Twitch, just like that, on the X, right over there. Check that out. Because this dude is hilarious. The minute he goes down, it does the Metal Gear Solid. And it's like, and then they get back up and they do it. And then, of course, they give it the good old Street Fighter when he gets choked out. You got to watch these cartoons. I'm doing it no justice. It's hilarious what he's been doing with Alex Patiata right now, with that and the whole John Jones and the what. You got to check him out, man. Go to Bring the Pain on Facebook, and also, so we had that. Dan went with the 4th round submission. I did think it was going to last a little long, but like true Fight Club passion, we had 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round submission. We had 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round submission. And the numbers were just outstanding. The fact I can look at this right now, the submission for this fight was a plus 145. Under 2.5 rounds, or yeah, it was 2.5 rounds, was a plus 104. We had, of course, the decision, no bet, was a negative 150 for Oliveira. Knockout sub plus 135 Oliveira. Distance no money line, negative 235 Oliveira. And of course, the sub 123, what did I say? Plus 420. You could smoke that bet. We smoked that bet and we won. And again, that is why I'm saying you can, if you don't know how to play the UFC, you should really listen to us, because we're able to hedge. Now, hedging can be very, very confusing for a lot of people. I get it. You don't understand. You're playing one fighter's strength with another fighter's strength and seeing if their strengths can produce something. That is why I felt Gamrot and Oliveira would go under. Now, the sport books were scared because 2 weeks ago, we got that under 4.5 at a plus 130, I think. And we smoked that bet. But when you're able to get distance no negative 235, under 2.5 plus 104, and you get all of that together and you can hit it all, you can place the same bet with a touchdown money line, and this is what I'm saying, in a home run money line. And unless somebody like a $2,000 dude, really low barrel boy in MLB hits a home run, you're not getting really good odds on these numbers with the home runs anymore. Touchdowns suck. Look, the macho pick of the week last week was Kyron Williams. He showed up, he showed out. Corum went down. Nakua, I'll get to the NFL in a second. Nakua went, that makes me mad. Anyway, we'll move on. When these injuries happen, that just threw me off right there. But with that, you can only play one touchdown. Then you get bored. Oh, I'm going to play 2 touchdowns. That's great. But with the UFC, and I'll stand on this, and you can comment, you can share this, you can screenshot, you can screen record this. UFC, DFS, and UFC betting is the best sport to bet on. Dana White, call me up. That's what we need. Uncle Dana, call me up. I will promote your business better than anybody. I've been doing that since the Super Bowl. I have been pushing, smashing, and trying to get acclimated to the MMA community, especially only UFC. We got the Contender Series on tonight. If I had my phone in front of me, I could go give you a bet on a knockout, but we're not going to be playing that game. It's the 500th anniversary, and we're getting through this, right? But when you're able to nail a knockout, an under, a 1, 2, 3, you cover yourself. If I miss the first round knockout, I have the second round knockout. I have the sub 1, 2, 3. I have that. It's suggested every single week how to play it. You just have to understand. And that's why I say, if you have questions during those lives with me and Dan, ask them, so that way we can help you all get better at this. I mean, I got to get some people in here. I haven't even shared. Let's get to the NFL stuff, right? Because the NFL stuff was exciting this week, but really, as you saw, kind of got me a little tested. I gave out 2 lives, and look, I'll take the losses on these for this week. I'm 4-2 with my DFS for the Ultra Contrarian show this year. I took 2 losses this week, and that's because I got 2 injuries on my lineup. Puka and Ibuka went down. And because they went down, unfortunately, there was nothing I could do. There was nothing I could do. So I tried to recover. I couldn't recover in time. And for me, that's just not good enough. I got to give out a better product. But I can't account for injuries like that. I can't predict it, of course, so I'm not going to make an excuse. Both those lineups still had Vidal on it, still had Kyron Williams on it, and Josh Jacobs on it. So, like I said, Josh Jacobs, easiest play of, it's a free square, play him over 100 yards. The receiving yards were positive, 2 touchdowns. What more? What more? And the fact that you had all 3 of those gave that lineup a chance to score. Now, I was able to get like some 50%. Maybe I got to win on that, but I'll take the loss because 2 losses, 2 injuries kind of suck. So let's talk about it. So I went 9-3 this week. Brings up, I'm only counting this. I'm not counting it next week unless I go perfect. 29-9 in the past 3 weeks. 29-9 overall. I don't know many people that are better than that. A lot of those are flukes, but also remember, and no, I'm not going to make any kind of excuses. We still nail the finishes in the losses. And it's all at the Subs Only Discord. Honestly, it's the most happening Discord channel in the world. Like, I know people got more stuff because there's more people that are clamoring, right? But for me, to do this all alone in that Discord, sorry about that. It's anniversary. I had to, of course, I blew my beer up. That's what we do here. I had to get a drink here. So, that being said, that's still good. Both me and Dan went 2-1 overall. My FanDuel lineup scored 582. DraftKings was a 482. Modest. You still cashed. You made money. Right? Rocha, 17%. Figgy, 15%. All right. And then we also had, for the DFS side, on the NFL, Knight. Bam Knight was 0.5% owned. I guess a lot of people didn't catch the Bam Knight move. I did shift to him. He got half as many points as Vidal, but Vidal was my play, but I was able to save that money and upgrade my tight end to Mayer. So when I got Mayer was 4% owned on the major slates for DFS last week. So those right there were able, and that is what provided. So for the football side, 148 on FanDuel in the Millie Maker. Not bad. I think 218 was top. Again, Puka Nacua was on that lineup. JSM was on that lineup. And so was, my boy Tatara McMillan, 18% owned. What did I say? This was the week to play Carolina Panthers. This was the week to play Bryce Young. That's what Heat Override said. I stood on it. And I said, because I'm giving him the Heat Override rub, the Carolina Panthers players were going to do good. I want to thank all of the other sites out there for not recommending Bryce Young and allowing me to push Bryce Young for all of my subscribers and all of my listeners. Thank you. Again, your hearts and your eyes deceive you, and your numbers in your computers also do as well. Sometimes you got to watch the games, people. Right? I got Trevor Lawrence at 9% as well. And that right there was the hit. And that's because Hunter Long. I liked Hunter Long. 2 catches, 18 yards. That's all right. I always put tight end. I'm happy with his 6-7 points. And that's what I was looking for. The fact that I got 25 points out of Vidal, I mean, that's what I wanted. So I'll bring up another fighter going back to the UFC as well. 28%. Those were my key plays. Even though I picked against Figgy on the betting sites, on the DFS sites, I couldn't pass up Figgy's price. That's how we roll at Bring the Pain. Yeah. Boom. Woo. All right. Well, we got through the FanDuel. We got through the bets. Parlay of Pain. We, of course, Walker was part of the Parlay of Pain, so it was a 4-leg parlay, also a 4-leg round robin. We cashed on the Lacerda money line, negative 265. We got Rocha, That the distance, no, got us. Petrino, knockout, yes, got us. So, and then of course we had the Carpenter fight, and and that was a distance, no, plus 112. Plus 112, people. Who's giving you these numbers? Together, the parlay of Pain went 3-1, only one losing line. It returned all the money. I think, let's just speak in dollar cents. I think on the one it said like $5 and returned to like $7. So I still made $2 more. This is why we're round robining. This is why we play as singles. Because I run into people that are just trying to play parlays. Dude, it's fun. Yeah, I can hit some parlays. But guess what? You come up a leg or two short, you're out. You're out that money. But if you round robin that, you get those 5 wins in a 7-leg parlay because you missed 2 legs. That is what I've been trying to teach and stress at Dr. Roto. And that's what we do at Dr. Roto is teach. Build your bank, take your chances, and say your prayers and eat your vitamins. Yeah, man, it's a crazy week for me. I got a belt test on Thursday. We're going to spar tomorrow. I practically have 6 days of karate this week, and we have the tournament on, well, other than Friday, because I don't do anything before tournaments. And then the tournament here on Saturday. Again, I am tied right now with weapons. So if I go there and say for some reason they don't show up, it's a lady that I know, then I win. If she shows up, I got to beat her to win. She's good, I'm good. We'll see what happens. Now, fighting, like I said, I'm up by 600 points. They can't catch me. I literally don't even have to fight. I didn't have to pay to fight. But I'm not going to pay $75 to just go do my kata. I'm going to pay $75 or $85 to do my kata and throw some fists. So that's what I got right there on that. And the fact that this week is so busy and I'm still able to get all this content out for all of you just shows what we try to do, the message we try to send at Dr. Roto. Again, I always say this. We have the right cure. We have the right cure to cure all of your fantasy needs. Right? I say it all the time. That is the statement. That's what we do. So that being said, that's the F day. We made money Thursday. We made a lot of money Saturday. We turned it in, had a great, if Puka plays that game and scores at least 20 more points, I probably win I'm going to be around about 180 on that lineup. So that's not bad. That's not bad when 219 was the top. I'll put that out, and I'm putting it out for free in the subs only Discord. Join us. I mean, that's what we do. So with all that, we were able to win Sunday, and we won some money last night. Again, my betting article, I had 2 parlays, first quarter parlays. The one hit, I went 2 out of 3. The other one hit, the other one missed, and then I was able to catch 1 touchdown. I was a little off on the touchdowns. Bills game just got weird. It was Cook, was one of my touchdowns in that game. But we got our money back. We got our thing. So when we get to Tuesday and we plan for this next week, I want all of you to know that we want you to be our rich friend. So that's why you got to join. Or you got to listen to these podcasts. You got to check out the Fight Club of Pain live on Thursdays. You have to check out the First Look and the Rise and Grind show tomorrow with Danger, Doc, and everybody. They're all different. Of course, Doc will be live tomorrow. The First Look, sometimes he's always on that show. So he'll give the DFS slate a first look for week 7. Also, get Doc, Willie, and Swami Friday Night Lights. Prior to that, after I get off the road, I'll be doing the Ultra Contrarian show with Fuego Steve. So I'm really excited for that. Also, and then that'll wrap up everything for the week. Now, the fights being in Vancouver will start about the regular time. I will be back for my tournament at that moment. So I'll be putting in bets in the Subs Only Discord like I always do. That's why I'm stressing to get to Dr. Roto and do what you do, right? But again, I wanted to get through all this. I know that you guys have been with me for 35 minutes. But let's have some fun now. Let's have some fun. Here, let's do let's do the IDP player of the week. I'm gonna do Cerveceya Denis. Or Dennis, whatever it may be. I'm in the UFC world, so it's Denis right now. Because we're talking Canadian, right? Nah. Cerveceya Denis, 20% owned. 40 tackles so far this season. This is his best season. His season career best was 20 tackles last season. He's got 40, right? On top of that, he plays for Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay sorely needs him. He's taking over as their superstar linebacker. He's only played 100% of the snaps once this year. I think once or twice. Once, I think it is. There's a 94, there's an 82, there's a 95. So he's right around the 93, 94% snap rate. You'll probably see that increase as they rely on him a lot more, trust him a lot more in his packages. So, right now, for your seasonal teams or your dynasty teams, 25 years old, that's perfect, man. Let's run that. Because I just had to check because I got water all over my things. But that brings me to the history of Bring the Pain. So go ahead, pick up Denis, and a lot of people probably won't be looking for him. $3 to $6 on a $100 budget. If it's $1,000, 30, 60, whatever you want. Nah, at that point I wouldn't even do 30. I would do like 20, 15, 20. Don't go big. Go read my article. It came out today. That'll give you another guy that also is lower percent owned that nobody's gonna go get. So I do want to take that into consideration also. So that's what we got. Now, I will give out my macho pick of the week, but I want to say thank you to everybody. I want to say thank you to everybody watching this episode right now. I want to say through content creation and 500 episodes and not ever sticking to just one topic, because even though mostly during football season, I'm a sports podcast, I'm always mostly a sports podcast, I do a lot of video game music podcasts as well. And I do a lot of interviews. I really, really highly, strongly recommend my interviews because we get into it. Everybody that comes on, we have fun. I hit the right answers and everything you need. So you can I actually made a QVC number code right there. See that? That'll take you to Bring the Pain at Spreaker. Spreaker was not who I started with. I started with Podbean for about the first 20 episodes. After that, I moved to Spreaker. I've been with Spreaker since. I've been podcasting for 6 years now. So I podcasted through, that crazy C-Mania era. And that's where I was really able to get a lot of that. During that time, I was a conspiracy podcast, still doing like my top 20 Kiss songs, my top 20 video games, Tecmo Super Bowl, a whole episode about football games and just beating me at football games. I did a lot of that earlier content, things that make me a jerk. But, I want to say thank you to everybody that's come on. Mostly Simon Shackleton, one of my biggest stars that I've been able to get on Bring the Pain. Also, I want to say thank you to The Messenger. He's been on my podcast multiple times. I've also been on his podcast as well, too. He just did his Secret Santa. He just opened up his Secret Santa on a VGM journey. So that's kind of like something a little nerdy. We gift a VGM, a video game song, to each other. We don't know. It comes out of nowhere. Alex knows. He puts it on the podcast, and we all have a great time. It's a little longer, and it's really fun because then, the messenger gets to live some of that. And we always give little notes. So it's just really fun. Last year I had Martyrs, so that was cool. And so, when you sit back and you look at that, I also want to say what's up to my boy Tay of A Very Blunt Sports Podcast. He's come on multiple times, 3 years. One of my biggest fans, Nick, I love you, man. Coming on, one of my longtime buddies, the maker of my song, this song right here, right? My boy Dave, DJ Chaos. thank you so much for giving me a very unique song. A lot of people have given me compliments on that song. It's one of the baddest songs, right? It's Bring the Pain, Bring the Pain. It was great he could do that. His Things That Won't Make Me a Jerk song's hilarious, though. He used the skit from Just One of the Guys when you had your boy, Greg Tullen, and he gets punked, and the guy finally stands up and goes, every day we get a treat. So he had that. That's Lost in the Sauce. I have to go grab that off of one of my podcasts because I love my segment, Things That Make Me a Jerk. They're just so fun. We all have those moments where somebody pisses us off and then we look like the jerk. Always a fun skit. They get a little intense on that one. But at the same time, I don't want to forget about Martyrs coming on. I don't want to forget about my wife or my daughter coming on. Big Key, Chrissy Ray was in it. And then Through the Turnbuckles, that podcast will be coming back. I kind of took it off. I was having some glitch errors or something with being able to make the podcast. It wasn't recording. But if I would have been recording, I would have been to my 500 a lot sooner. And I wanted to do my 500 isolated because there could only be one, right? One. And nobody is above anybody else on my podcast. And I would have loved to have 15 people on this podcast, but there was no way that we were going to get that many people together. So, again, I want to say thank you for giving me all these years, being able to bring the pain from making pennies to actually giving me money every month to do things with, to put money back in, to buy shirts, to create designs like my latest Fight Club of Pain shirt right here. You know, you can get that mug at TeePublic. Go to TeePublic, look up Bring the Pain, you'll see my shop. You even got my Jet Li shirt that I got on there. So that's real fun. So through all of that and through all of everything that's going on, I just got to say thank you. I got to say thank you to Chris from the Pod of Thunder. The Pod of Thunder was one of the first podcasts I came across when I started podcasting. Of course, the first podcast I listened to was Tommy G's No Mercy. That's how I got in a lot of trouble. All right, but I still love Tommy G. Anyway, Bob, the crew, Kurt, they're all great people. Love them all. But moving on, Pod of Thunder. Andy, Chris, Nick Polak, the crew, Jericho, Chris Jericho, when he comes on, I mean, he's been on that episode over 40 times, 50 times maybe by now. And, you know, just the fact that they're pulling all these people to get him on and just having a great time. The one episode I just listened to with Jericho, Scorpions, When to Change, it was like 2 hours, 2.5 hours long. They just like, the song was over and they were just talking for like another hour after that. It was hilarious. So again, that's what I try to create when I do my interviews, other than having to sit here alone and talk to all of you and say thank you and hope that you're paying attention enough, waiting for that macho pick of the week. So, you know, I pride this show on being different. I don't want to be cliche like Matthew Berry. I don't want to be that guy that tries to be like, hey guys, this is great, and let's get riggy with it, right? I'm not that guy. I'm a fighter. I have a fighter mentality. I'm gritty. I do Macho Man Randy Savage stuff, right? And I love music. But all of those interviews, I don't think I left anybody out. I hope I didn't leave anybody out, because I really, really do love and respect everybody that I've done a podcast with. And I think I got them all. But, I mean, just the fact that like someone like Simon Shackleton, Elite Force, Lunatic Calm was able to come on my podcast and give me the time of day before he did the Shadowmaker album, which he's just released a remix version, a dance version of the Shadowmaker album. Right now he's doing pop-up sets. He just went through a whole Lunatic Calm release of underground tracks that were never released, that he reformatted, remastered. Sounds amazing. So when you get a chance to interview people like that, I'm also working on a UFC fighter. You know, I'm waiting for my favorite juice box. I want to talk to him, right? I want to talk to my boy, Juice Box Walker. And, you know, I'm really excited to hopefully get this podcast together. Yo, what's up, Dan? How you doing, brother? I hope you're feeling better. I was sick over the weekend. I crashed, and then I almost crashed. I held it together and did the Ultra Contrarian show. So I was really excited about that. I don't know if you're still in here, Dan, but I want to say thank you for the 500. But dude, like all this together, everybody that's come on, Dan, adding in the fight theory, pushing me. Like I was crazy at first giving out all of these bets and lines, and I was hitting these bets, playing both sides. And he goes, just slow it down, bro. Just slow it down. Let the fights come to you. So I did. We had a talk. We had like a 2-day talk, and that's where the fight of the night came. That's where the wild ass singing came in. Also, oh, this reminds me. I also want to thank Angelo from We Want Picks, giving a rookie a shot to come on my podcast and to talk UFC, the sport, the DFS, the betting lines that we love, just to talk overall and to get some hate sometimes, but to figure the sport out, watch something, give credit to it, and try to represent the UFC the way we want to represent the UFC. I gotta say thank you to that too. Honestly, till this day, he didn't have to give me that time of day. Neither did Simon. Nobody really has to, because, under that, they don't owe it to me, but they did it for me. And that will always, like I said, when you do something for me like that, I will always represent you. I will always push your content. I will always respect it. I will always like it. I will always comment, and I will always try to do the best I can for you, because that's my commitment to you as Heat Override, as the host of Bring the Pain, is to extend that thank you, because I'm more than just a podcaster or somebody that might be in direct competition with a lot of these people. I also am a human, and I like to hear their stories, and I like to talk to them. And that's what Bring the Pain, that's the biggest thing that Bring the Pain has always been built on, is human emotion. Human emotion, even to the point where I had a job hate me because they listened to a podcast where I may have mentioned that they took away my vacation time while everybody else had theirs. Well, that got me in some trouble. Eventually, parted ways with that company, and I'm with a great company now. But I also want to extend a thank you to Dr. Roto. Dr. Roto did not have to ever give me this shot. After I was separated from that company because of my content, because of the conspiracies that I was able to say come true and watch and warn people about during that time, I was in a lot of trouble. Doc said, put all that aside. I'm starting my own site. You can't say anything for 6 months. I want you to be on my team. And that's an honor. That's an honor. It's an honor to know that Doc was one of the original hosts on SiriusXM Fantasy that I gravitated to, that I felt like the Roto Visionaries, Samacho Pick of the Week. Doc just gives out a lot more because people push him. They're like, Doc, we need 20 of them. And Doc's like, I got to get it. But Doc does it every single week for all of you. And at the same time, that's what his team is for at Dr. Roto. We're all here. Fuego Steve. I mean, a big part of the Ultra Contrarian show. Danger. The Chris's. Lou, huge Lou, Mark. And, just putting up with a lot of my editing failures at times, my kind of crazy way that I talk. Sometimes it doesn't come off to paper as well, or reading as well. So they've worked with me all this time. They've done that. And they've been great. So I extend all of my thanks to anybody that has been part of Dr. Roto. When I got to meet Ted, I mentioned this on my podcast for the Scott Fish Bowl, it was the Fantasy Football Expo. That was big, which I did see Scott there. Doing a Scott Fish Bowl live this year with my best friend Dave, like my oldest friend Dave. And selecting Patrick Mahomes like a cocky bastard in front of all those people, getting to run my mouth and seeing Patrick Mahomes be a baller. Now, of course, that team is doing good. I just put up like 340 points, 350 points. And it's like my team, I've had major injuries. I've lost Connor. I've just lost people, right? But I've held it together. And it started with Justin Jefferson being my first overall pick, which also, I'm going to just say this right now. I realized I put a podcast out the other day and I said, yo, I'm done with all you people suggesting wide receiver, number 1, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase. Look, I'm done with all of you. Okay, things that make me a jack. Y'all need to stop that zero running back shit. Okay, I'm done with it. Y'all's lying. The fact that all of you went and suggested Jamar Chase above Bijan Robinson, it isn't even a matter about last night. I don't care about last night. Come at me, son. Patchy still sucks. Bro, you said you hated his face. Like, my boy right here throwing up, Patchy must suck. I mean, I don't know. But when you suggest people, you got to understand, you're suggesting a player that is dominantly connected to the quarterback. And now that Burrow is hurt, there's a trade for Joe Flacco. Now Jamar Chase seems he's fine. But here's the problem. Every one of those I drafted Jamar Chase in a lineup, in a league, and I'm losing. And I'm losing bad. And I shouldn't have did it. And I shouldn't have listened to any of you people out there. But I tried to be different for that league. I tried to be different. I tried to just say, hey, let's do it. For one of my boys in my hometown league, high stakes league, Andy, he had me draft. I got Chase Brown. I got Jamar Chase. I had Joe Burrow. I did get Jonathan Taylor for him. Now, did you just notice what I said? The Bengals have sucked. Those players have sucked. Brown wasn't the player that he was last year and can't be now that Burrow has been out. He's consistent, but he isn't doing it. And that is why going into this year, running back was important because it wasn't deep. Receiver was. A receiver that I talked about up and down was Hollywood Brown before the suspension because I know the Chiefs have a package for him. I watch the Chiefs. This is something numbers will never tell you. I promise you. You have to watch the game tape. You have to watch the plays. You can go to the Subs Only Discord at Dr. Roto. You can talk to the people that know me, and I am wrong sometimes. I am very wrong sometimes. But when I'm dialed in and I'm calling plays, we're hitting and hitting and hitting and hitting. Like I had a parlay for 10 yards and 5 yards for Sunday night for Pacheco and Hunt. Hunt got 3-yard carry. Then the Chiefs got stupid. They did 2 weird Patrick Mahomes plays. I think he got sacked. There was a penalty. They tried to throw an out to Pacheco. Pacheco needed 1 yard. Run Pacheco. Right? Hunt needed 2 yards. It was a plus 998. A plus 998. It does, Dan. It does. It does everything about that guy in the third of the pass. Well, no. Hollywood Brown scoring 2 touchdowns this week, again, proved the fact why I'd rather have Brown at this stage with somebody like Bijan Robinson or Jonathan Taylor. And the fact that you talk smack and made Jonathan Taylor a late second round pick and a third round pick, this is my call out to the industry. Stop trying to be smart. Keep it simple, stupid. Kiss rule. I can't help you. Running backs used to kick my ass. When I first started fantasy football, this dude got Terrell Davis, he had Jerry Rice, and he had Brett Favre. It was 3 keepers, and we did a snake draft. He won the Super Bowl, and don't you know he got the 8th and 9th pick, which is the 8th and 9th best player? That man had a team, Cousins had a team for a very long time that was super strong. And for me, why are we doing this? Why are we saying that zero running back? I get that sometimes it's not flashy and that you get more boom games out of the wide receivers. But like we just seen with the last couple weeks, we seen Rico Dowdle show what's up by going 30 plus back-to-back weeks. Meanwhile, we have those other percentages plays, like I'm going Bryce Young 8%. I'm throwing out Tataroa McMillan at 18%. These are people that you could have got later. McMillan hasn't been the best. But for really what's been really going good for a lot of my teams is running backs. Yes, they do. They're more consistent. And that's the type of fantasy advice Heat Override will always give. And that was the question for you. And the reason why I give this advice that way is because I'm trying to nail those late round wide receivers that can round out your team. Like Devontae Adams for my hometown Big Cash League. I have Adams. I got Ashton Giente. I got Brees Hall. I got Kenneth Walker. I got Jalen Ward. I have no use. I can only start 3 max running back. I got Hawkinson, and I have Johnson for the Saints. Tight ends, I'm covered. I've got Josh Allen as my quarterback. I'm 2-4. Things don't always go on. I've scored literally like 150 every week. The guy scored 205 points. Last week, I scored 205 points. This is just something that happens in fantasy football. But the fact that you have to remember, as experts, everybody that's listening to this, you have to remember, it's a tag team. It's like a fishing pole. What good is the lure if you don't have the pole, right? You can't throw the lure into the lake and expect to get it back if you don't have the pole. The pole is the quarterback. Wide receivers aren't shit without their quarterbacks. I don't care what you say or what you sauce. Everybody's trying to trade Jamar Chase. Do you think, hear me out, do you think anybody's trading Bijan Robinson right now, especially if you're 6-0? Are you changing? Are you trading him? No, you're a madman if you are, because you could win your league this year and win money this year with Bijan Robinson. Will Jamar Chase be on a championship team if he gets traded to it? But right now, unless their drafting was ultimately perfect after the Chase pick, most likely they're not going to be on that. Again, I've scored over 300 points the past 2 weeks with zeros in my lineup. I screwed up and took a loss in the Scott Fish Bowl because I got Jalen Warren 2 weeks ago. This week, or 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, or whatever, not counting this week. Last week, I had an injury right off the go. Hurt. I can't remember who it was during warm-ups. Out. 0. Still won. Right? Over 300 points. This week, I didn't even have Justin Jefferson, and I put up like 340, 350 points. Okay, let me just go check that out. Let me just get my Scott Fish Bowl. And I'm third ranked. I put 320 up. I'm 9-3 in the Scott Fish Bowl. That's respectable. That's what I'm doing. And the fact that I'm able to score over 300 points, I would have a better record if I didn't screw that up, and I might be in first place. But things happen. I got cocky. And that's what I'm trying to make. That is what top 4 fights this week could. Yeah, I know. Dan's already looking at the UFC. He's already looking at all the information I have right there already started. So, yeah, we're doing DeRitter versus Allen this week for the Fight Club of Pain. We got UFC Vancouver. I talked about it for a few minutes. But I do just want to say, extend everybody out. Thank you. Thank you for, if you love video game music, go check out my Ninja Gaiden trilogy. Go check out my Masters of VGM Michiro Yamane episode. I have my VGM Hall of Fame episode coming up. It's going to be long, but my interview's coming up. Man, if I could get Juice Box, I can't wait, because that's what I want to do for all of you at Dr. Roto and for all of you pain bringers as fans of this show. I want to put people on this show that are genuinely good, roundabout, down-to-earth people, and that are out there. Like to be able to talk to a UFC fighter, or to be able to talk to a bare-knuckle fighter. I might be able to get that off, too. Probably can. Haven't asked. I've been waiting because I have my focus on my fight right now. But believe me, I'll talk to her. I'll get her on. And if she would see this, she would know who it is. But a lot of other people don't know. But believe me, she's a champion. All right. So that's what we have coming up. Of course, the Fight Club of Pain this Thursday. Also, we'll be giving you out the NFL Showdown slate for this Thursday as well, too. That's great. But again, I can't say thank you enough to everybody. I love all of you to give a regular guy from Erie, PA, a crazy dude, to accept going against the grain, calling out, just like I did right now, calling out the industry, saying the fact that you guys had Chase's number one and not Bijan, shows that you are a dinosaur, that you should come where the real dogs play. And that office is always open at Dr. Roto. Yeah. Right? So Dan's got this right here for the 4 fights. So since we're talking about the 4 fights, for the first time ever, I usually never do this. We'll be covering the Manon Farrow and Jasmine Juzaduzavicis. That name's fun to say. We'll be covering Marlon Chito Vera versus Ayman Zahabi. Oh, I don't like you, Zahabi. Oh, I have a very, 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 very dusted history with Zahabi. So you already know who I'm going. Chito! Yeah, Dan, look at you. Look at you getting the early thing. Our boy Kevin Holland versus Mike Malott. Ooh, that's going to be a fun fight. And then my boy, Raniel Derrida versus Brendan Allen. Woo! Man, that's going to be hot. Some hot medicine, some hot craziness. I mean, you got the 5-tastic picks. I'm up on all my articles because I fight Saturday. So I can't be, I got at some point lock in anger wise. And that's what's going to make the Ultra Contrarian show really fun on Friday. Because I'm literally the night before my fight. So my adrenaline is going to be through the roof. You definitely have to catch me and Steve on that. But the Parlay of Pain will be hitting. You know, this is stuff that only the Fight Club of Pain and the Subs Only Discord, Dr. Roto, have access to. I highly stress that if you don't want to do the full seasonal package, to just get the Subs Only Discord package. Use the code WOULDWIN and get a percentage off of your subscription today so that you can start winning at UFC. I can't believe I'm highly excited about. Yes, we knew we were going to get him. We knew we were going to get him, right? And this fight now doesn't feel like I think if Fluffy was in this fight, the winner of this probably would get that next title shot. But I don't see that happening now. I do want to say the fact that we got Vashvili versus Jan 2. Dan, we were talking about that. Dan, how does that happen? We talk about food, heavyweights fall out their fights, and then we talk about Vashvili versus Jan when we did the whole rundown. I was like, what, we're going to get Jan again? And you're just like, ugh, right? Pantoja versus Van. I like Jan Blachowicz versus Guskov. Bogdan Guskov. Oh, just play the under. I swear, just play the under. You don't even got to catch the Fight Club of Pain for that night. I'm already telling you, take the under on that fight. I think Jan gets leveled by Guskov. Oh, look at that. Months ahead. Months ahead. Right? We got Cejudo versus Talbot. Go Talbot. And then, woo! Did you see Moreno versus Tyara? Oh, that's going to be a great fight. And then Zayam Sadikov. Oh, look, the UFC. That's not even mentioning JDM in Islam. That's not mentioning all the other great fights that are coming up, man. The UFC is where it's at. I love the NFL. The NFL is always going to be my number one sport that I'm the best at. But the fact that, woo, yeah, yes. I can't believe that somebody went on YouTube and ran their damn mouth and was like, yeah, he's just not ragdolling about Jose Aldo. Oh, so anyway, Dan, this is probably what happened. That guy that I was talking to about Jose Aldo, probably was a family member or a massive fan or a friend of Jose Aldo's, because the way he was trying to come at me was really serious about that Aldo fight. He was literally like, Marab didn't ragdoll him. And we talked about this, and you were like, but Marab beat his ass. And I'm like, yeah, he did. But this dude was like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. So I can only think a family member. And that's fun because we've pissed off other groups too. And the fact that it was funny because Dan left because of how many updates were happening in there. And this group, I'll just say OP, this group really loved us. They loved us more than they actually liked the group that was running the group. The actual X who has 400,000 followers. He won 4 out of 5. Exactly. And you got scared of the heat override in Dansky? The Chef Dan? We're cooking up bets here, cooking out wins. And you removed us and blocked us from that room when your customers were loving us? I wish some of those guys would have came to Dr. Roto because they'd be our rich friends now. And that's what happens. So that right there let me know that I was a problem, that Dan was a problem in this world. And again, that is the product that I've always tried to give all of you for Bring the Pain. It's been a hell of a ride. But guess what?
Ooh, yeah, it's about that time of the night. Ooh, yeah, when the Macho Man shows up, the cream of the crop, rising to the top. Yeah, it's time for the Macho Pick of the Week. Ooh, yeah.
The Macho Pick of the Week is DeAndre Swift, not because of what he did last night, but because I know no other host, no other website is going to give you DeAndre Swift. Why? Because they don't have the nuts. They don't know what to do. They're confused when it comes to this game. Again, hey, look at this number over here. It looks really cool. Yeah. No, it's not. Watch the game. Your eyes will always tell you more than the numbers will. The numbers are great for history. The numbers are great to look at. But if you don't know how they get to those numbers, I have a word for you. But I won't say it. So we'll move along. 5,700 on DraftKings and FanDuel 6,300 on FanDuel. I will ride or die with DeAndre Swift this week. And the reason why is not, again, because of what he did last night. It's because people are going to be chasing. They're going to look at J.K. Dobbins and the Giants. They're going to look at Kaimani Vidal and chase those points. Indianapolis is strong up front, but their secondary is weak. Who told y'all that Ladd McConkey was going to score this week? Oh, me. I did that. So, whoop, get that. So I'm not playing with the New England running backs. I'm done with that whole business. They suck, and they don't give it enough to them. I'm all on the Drake May train. Love it. And so Kamara at 5,900 is really going to tempt people. They're Chicago. It's the same game. You could play Kamara and you could play DeAndre Swift. But the macho pick of the week is DeAndre Swift. Get him in your lineups. I'm going to predict Swift 14%. 14%, right? 20%, it could happen. 14% main slate. That's what I'm got. And you get DeAndre Swift for 14%. It's like getting McMillan for 18%. You're just different. That's what we strive for at Bring the Pain. That is my macho pick of the week. My IDP player of the week for the waiver wire tonight that you need to go pick up is Sarasea Dennis or Sarasea Denis, as us people would say. Those dudes are always putting out fake news. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. I mean, sometimes they get stuff right, but so do we. But something we always get right is food and heavyweights. That always pull if we talk about food. You got to just go catch that skit for the few minutes that we actually did that. That was fun. And we're not out here to cause fights or cause problems. I mean, I'm causing a fight on Saturday. I might have 3 fights. 3. I'm hoping I got 3 fights on Saturday. I'm down for that. Like, that'll be fun. Like, it would just, because no matter what, I'm still the champion. I could just look at him and be like, I'm still the champion. And I'm going to go and we're going to fight again for the overall championship. So, you know, I totally do it, man. It is funny as hell. But, you know, I do have to concentrate on my belt test. This is me testing for my brown belt. Doesn't mean that I'm going to get it. Hopefully I get it. But it'll be nice to get that, go to this tournament, have some fun, get caught up, and then finally get some rest and relaxation and kind of get it out. Oh, look at Dan going 80%. 80% we've said we sorry. They can say that. I'm going to say that we're around 90. We're around 90%. Like there's a few cards that my picks alone, money lines were 11-1. But as you're talking towards the Fight Club of Pain, we've both went unbeaten multiple weeks. We both have done that. And that's what we're given. Honestly, in the DFS game, I always say anything above 60% is money. If we're above 60% by far. So again, that comes to the hard work, the way that me and Dan are able to play off each other. Sorry, you heard that. And to rest it. But this episode has gone on. It's a really big one. It'll be on the website at Dr. Roto. But again, I want to say thanks to all of my guests. Thanks to all of my co-hosts. You are hosts. Dan, Steve, you guys have done more for Bring the Pain this year. You've added a variety to Bring the Pain. You've added another voice to Bring the Pain. And you've added your expertise. I love the way Dan breaks down the fights. Like, I can't even do it because my crazy just goes straight to crazy. I'm sitting here talking about childhood diseases and fathers getting killed while the Boys to Men is on tour in Roundtree. And I'm just all in it wildly. But here we go. We got this all together. And now we have the shows, the compliments that I've received for both shows and just the overall work. Thank you. It's always appreciated. You definitely want to get to TeePublic, look up Bring the Pain, and get to that site and get the Fight Club of Pain shirt. That's a one-of-a-kind shirt. I will have my logo behind me on a shirt coming out very soon when I get the time. Again, concentration. The shirt is not more important than my fight, but after my fight, the shirt is important. I will make it happen for all of you. But you can still buy this shirt for it. Sidekick. Bro, you are not a sidekick. If you want to call yourself that, you know, but even Robin became Nightwing. But again, it's like you're the Pat Summerall and I'm the John Madden. And then when it comes to Steve and the Ultra Contrarian show, you have the crazy GPP side of it where he's fire. He's going to rub it all in people's faces this week. He's so nailed it again. And that's funny is you got me nailing it. You got Steve nailing it. You got Dan nailing it. You got me nailing it. You have the entire team at Dr. Roto nailing it with bets, seasonal advice. We have NHL kicking. I got to get back into playing some NHL. I've already missed all the PFL fights at this point by now. So there's going to be no bets for that. I'll be the Robin. So he's going to be Falcon. Oh, boy. This is why Bring the Pain is so much fun. All right, everybody. Thank you. Thanks to Doc for allowing me this format to get out. Let's get it together. Let's get ready for the next show, the Fight Club of Pain, 501. And always remember to bring the pain. Ooh, yeah.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. Until the next visit, be well and take care.